Sanctioned Subversion. Within a known space, within an organisation, it's easy to hear the stories that we want to hear. Stories that we have a permission to shape and share because they reinforce the organisation's view of who it is. Safe stories are easy to share, but sometimes we have to hear the unsafe stories. And one of the ideas we may need to consider as social leaders is how we can sanction subversion, how we can create a space and opportunity for people to challenge the things that may need to be challenged. Here's an interesting thing. Many organisations are not successful because of rules and systems and processes to make them successful. They're actually successful because they're full of great people who know what they're doing, who want to do a good job, and who do a good job, but quite often they do so at a hyperlocal, tribal level by carefully and considerately breaking rules, working their way around the edge of things, sharing things that they've learned with the people that they're close to, building a tribal tacit type of knowledge. These are not bad people doing bad things. They're good people trying to do even better things. They do so by subverting the rules, but we never get to take that wisdom and use it to evolve the organisation. We don't get to build it out to a generalised kind of knowledge because it's hidden from us, because it's subversive, and we exist in organisations that punish and challenge anything that subverts established wisdom. So how do we solve this? Well, it's not enough just to say to people, we want to hear your ideas, because our lived experience is that if we share a subversive story, it'll be punished. What we have to do instead is use our social leaders to create the space where people can share those stories and to build the communities that can work out which ones are valuable to us or not. Because here's the thing, this is not simply a case of digging for gold. As the formal organisation, we can't simply reach into the social space and hope that we uncover some piece of wisdom just lying on the ground waiting for us to pick it up. We have to earn the right to hear that wisdom. And of course, we may not even understand what wisdom is in this context, because within the formal organisation, we're doing things within an existing mindset. Instead, we need a community which may have a higher tolerance for ambiguity. And those social learning communities are the ones that can make sense of it. Sense-making is the mechanism by which social leaders gain value from their social communities. If they nurture and support them, those communities can pick up this tacit tribal knowledge. They can establish the commonality between different stories. They can tease out the meaning from it, and they can craft it into a story which can be shared back into the organisation. The flip side of that is that the organisation has to recognise, empower, and reward those people that engage in that storytelling, even when those stories are subversive, when they challenge the things that we know and the things that we want to hear. The humility behind social leadership isn't simply the humility of the social leader, it's an organisational humility, a recognition that in the social age things are different. In the old world, the strength and power sat in the organisation, but in the social age, the strength and power sits in a dynamic tension between the organisation and between the social leaders that exist within it and the broader communities of engaged individuals. So what do we mean by sanctioned subversion? Firstly, the organisation recognising that it needs to look beyond known knowledge in a known space. It has to create a permission for people to be subversive. It has to sanction that. Secondly, we need communities where that can take place within, not just communities that we're telling people it's okay to share those ideas, but communities which have social leaders within them who nurture and support and enable people to share those ideas. And thirdly, we need social communities that can filter and sort it, because not all of this tacit, tribal, local knowledge is going to be extremely valuable and good. But I'd argue that not all of the formal institutional knowledge that we share and pound into people is really good either. In the dynamic tension between the formal and the social system, We're seeking to uncover and surface the very best of both. And we're looking for the formal organisation to listen to the sanctioned, subversive stories of the social communities and to recognise and reward them. And we're looking for individuals to engage with humility and openness into this new space so that we can all together craft the more socially dynamic organisation